Alright, well, welcome to Big Slack Off-Road. We're installed a set of underwear skid plates on the Land Cruiser 100 here. The first step is to install our diff drop. It's a little bit thicker than most diff drops. If you already have a diff drop, like on this truck, we'll be changing it out. There's already a spacer in the front. If not, you would install a spacer on the front of it in between the knuckle for the front diff and the frame. As you can see, there's already one here. So what we'll do is we'll temporarily support the differential with this jack. We'll take these two bolts out. These two bolts out are 19 millimeter, and this one here, which is 19 millimeter, also pull that down. Bottom. Got it. Off. Good. Got it. Got a couple. I don't see that very often. We got two busted. Think a little bit of pressure on the head, but still it needs to come forward some. Tighten these to 100 foot-pounds. We do 100 foot-pounds because we want this to clamp the frame real tight. That is probably different than what Toyota recommends, and most definitely is. But this is not the same diff drop or differential mount that they have. These didn't tighten all the way. Right. When we pick it up, it's ready to ship. There's not any, we gotta put bubble wrap down in the back of the truck, bring it back over here, and then take it back out and then repack it again. It's a lot smoother transition. They're perfectly open to it, which is what I really like about that powder coater. We have 3 powder coaters. This one's the best one, well, so far. I mean, he's done the best job. He does zinc primer. You know, really thick top coat. He dries it between. Always does sandblasting. I mean, just knows his stuff, and it's a family-run business, and they're a really good family. This would normally be one continuous piece, one continuous bend that's like been slotted and welded up. But what we did from the prototype set was, the prototype set was 11 gauge, and it did not have this bar in it. So we added this tube in here, which gives you impact protection. We changed this to 3/16, which made it significantly stronger, and added a little more cross section in right here. So this is 3/16, this is 3/16. These were 3/16 to begin with, but this tube is probably the biggest addition on top of the thickness of the material. So that makes for, I mean, it's heavy, but it's very strong. So we're gonna put the bolts in that bolt to the cross member on the frame. In this case, we've got a spacer we've got to put in it because it's an Ironman bumper. We put anti-seize on and throughout everything just to keep it from seizing up later. Put the bolt up just to keep the rocks off of it. Put a USS washer on one side, a USS washer on the other side, and we put a lock nut on the top. There's a lock nut in the kit. Right now we're still supported by the jack. This is an Ironman front bumper, and because there's an Ironman front bumper, we have to put some spacers up inside of here just because of the way it's fabricated. On most of the ones that use our front bumper, our front winch mount, it bolts right flat up against there. In this case, there's a 3/16 spacer that goes in there. At the same time, because of that gap, where the way Ironman builds it, we've got to put a spacer between the cross member and the skid plate itself right here. Most skids, it goes flat up against there. Our winch plate sits flat on top of that if you're using all big slack components. If not, you're using an Ironman, you have these spacers and this stuff will come in the kit. There is one more bolt that's not on this guy for this truck. It goes up in the center right here. It bolts right in. In this case, they don't have that bolt anymore. They'll have to install it at a later time.
You mean to say we removed the harmonic balancer? The whole truck is gonna be...
Yeah, you'll be leaning.
Man, oh no.
You can hold this up with the floor jack, or you can have a friend help you. I got mine started over here.
Well, I wish I was that lucky.
There you go forward.
Hang on, Mark, because I don't know where I'm at on that. Again. That's in. Well, just get it bolts in. Come back around.
So this is the transfer case cross member here. You can use your factory bolts with a large washer. If you don't have factory bolts, it's an M8 1.5 bolt that goes in there.
I think it's a 1.25.
Okay, so it's an M8 by 1.25 bolt, which you'll need washers to cover the slots. The slots are rather generous because of how everything can mount. There's a lot of slop in it, so we made sure that you could fit everything on there.
Get any pictures up at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
180. Yep.
That's right.
That fits
Yeah.
over that bolt.
That's right. Now, to get realigned.
Okay.
Boy, did you ever...
Oh man, this is more.
Yeah, this is a little more intense, isn't it?
Oh, the exhaust is right there. All right, we're using a 1/2-inch drill bit with, these are 3/4?
Yes.
Yeah. 3/4 swivel bit and a 3/4 wrench. And that's for the hardware to mount the brackets that'll hold your rear skid plate up here. I found it easiest to use the open face of the wrench going over top and you're able to sort of grab the nut. So here's that bracket for the passenger side of the vehicle, and the easiest way to get a wrench on the top of the frame to get up to that nut is up across the exhaust. You need kind of a long arm for this, but you can get back up in there and then get your buddy to screw that in. Yep, it needs to slide towards me. That's it.
Let's go on the A bracket. There's a bolt on each side of it to kind of tunnel the drive shaft. This piece up here, this cross member, is not square anywhere on it. It's kind of a rolled piece, but there's a bolt hole through it that you saw earlier going on. And because it is a rolled piece, if you tighten it in the wrong spot, this one won't line up there. So you have to leave this one pretty loose to get this one lined up. In this case, we use the jack to help hold the plate up. And in this one here, we loosened up a little bit more. Now we'll go back through and tighten all of them once all the bolts are started. And once they're all on the right spot, you can drop the plate on and off and not have to reposition these. We tighten the 4 across the back here. We'll tighten these 2 and the front 2. Then we'll go back and make sure all of our brackets are really tight. All these to about 100 foot-pounds. That's what this little impact does. Okay, so this bolt here on this particular truck is touching the exhaust pipe. It's not supposed to. Just a little bit of variation in truck to truck versus the one that was originally scanned and designed around. So we're going to change it out for a shorter bolt, like a 3/4, just to make sure it doesn't hit. And not torque these up, that's what I was going to do next. Alright, well, thank you for watching the install video. Just want to do a quick recap. These plates give you protection from the very front of the truck, all the rear axle, and from your rock slider all the way across. Simply the best protection you can get for a Land Cruiser. Additionally, these are very maintenance friendly, so on these plates, there's just a few bolts to take out on the bottom to drop them out. You can use a floor jack or a transmission jack. You can roll it underneath it here, jack it up, pull your bolts out, and lower the plate down. And these are bolts that are very common sizes, like 3/4 inch and 14 millimeter. A couple factory bolts, a couple bolts that we put on the cross member. You can have this thing out to do maintenance. Third of all, you can purchase these plates independently. So if you want to buy the front one first, the middle one later, and the third one last, you can do that too. So they're available individually. Thanks for watching.